was thinking about, like, if there was an app where I could go in and put all, like, my fucking wishes, like what song I want played at my funeral, explicit instructions for what I want to do, and, you know, if I wanted a Bible verse read, I'd be like, I type that in. I want this Bible verse read at my funeral. Play this Prince song, you know?
You want to choreograph it. I like it.
Yeah.
I think you're probably 0.01% of the people that actually want to do that.
Yeah, you don't think people want to pick their song?
I don't think they want to think about it at all.
You want them to play Freebird at your funeral?
I don't think they want to think about it at all. That's been my experience so far. Like we didn't have any kind of ceremony after my father passed.
Nothing.
No.
You do.
I don't like it, but I understand it too. Like, he spent his entire life in Lake Zurich, and we weren't there anymore. And he outlived all the other men in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Who's going to come to it?
You and your brother and your mother. That's who's going to come to it. That's really the only people that matter. It's not how many people show up. It's more for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's how you say goodbye. That's what it's about. And I mean, you've done that, but like, it kind of finalizes stuff. I think that's the whole point of it. It kind of says, all right, we're officially saying goodbye to this person. You know, figuratively watching the casket go into the ground and the dirt get put on it. And that's like, this person is at rest. And now you can rest.
He's in a paint can.
Yeah? That's fucking awesome.
You know,
your dad was a painter.
Yeah, he was a second generation painter, and he was really good at what he did.
So whose idea was it to put his ashes in a paint can?
Mine.
That's a fucking great idea, man. What a fitting tribute.
Yeah. We're like, what are we going to put him in? Well, let's get an empty paint can and put him in that.
Yeah. That's a fitting tribute. Your dad is probably in some other plane of existence smiling about that. He's like, hell yeah.
I need to get one of those little pint cans and get some of the ashes.
Yeah.
After he passed, I went and got some scissors and took some of his hair.
I mean, hair locks are going back to like the Victorian times. Hair locks were very much a term or a token of endearment for people. That was the thing. Like, if we were very good friends, you would give me a lock of your hair. And people think it's morbid now, but, you know, hair locks are not morbid.
I think people think things are morbid because they haven't thought about it very deeply.
Yeah.
I think morbid is...
I never started recording on these.
I think morbid is more along the lines of like... serial killers and stuff like that. I don't think there's anything morbid about dealing with family death.
No. I mean, I really do think it's a celebration of someone's life. I mean, that's what it should be about. You should be happy for that person because they're like on the other side, whatever that is.
See, that's what I would like is like that rally at the end.
Yeah.
I want to have a party
that
I actually get to go to.
Yeah.
You know? Like, you should have that Prince song playing while you're there.
Yeah.
Like, do you know anything about your great-grandfather?
I do know my great grandfather, I'm not bullshitting you, was Mr. America.
It was Captain America.
Mr. America. He was a bodybuilder.
Okay.
My father showed me a picture one time of him in his bodybuilding, and he was a Sicilian dude. He was from Sicily, and he was Mr. America, like when his family first came over.
That's cool.
Yeah, but that's all I really know. I don't know the man's name.
You don't know his name?
No.
This doesn't work so well on the backside.
Yeah. That's what she said. Yeah, I don't know his name. I don't know a whole lot about my family.
My great-grandfather was, on my father's side, was Carl Nielsen. And I think I have a picture somewhere of him where he was actually riding a reindeer. He was an interesting guy. My grandfather was... I forget how many kids they had. They had like 15.
It's like...
I think only 13 of them. It was either 17 and only 15 of them lived, or 13 or 15 and only 13 of them lived. Like they had 3 different Williams until one lived.
Damn, they named multiple kids the same name?
Well, apparently it was a thing that happened.
Yeah.
You just kept using the name over until one stuck.
Yeah.
I would have thought that would have been a bad vibes. You know?
Yeah, I wouldn't want to have 3 kids by the same name.
Well, they died like in the first year.
Oh, so they named the next one the same name.
Yeah.
I got you. I see what you're saying.
Yeah, it wasn't like George. What was that boxer's name?
George Foreman?
Or he's got all his kids are named George.
It's not like Bob Newhart show. Hi, I'm Larry. This is my cousin Daryl. And this is my other cousin Daryl.
I think his brother, but yes.
Yeah, was it his brother?
Yeah, my brother, Daryl, and my other brother, Daryl.
Yeah, and both the guys are named Daryl. That's exactly what that would be like.
Yeah.
I would say on my funeral, I would put explicit instructions. Going to have a 6:30 a.m. joint. Going to have coffee and donuts. But I just think it'd be funny as shit to make everybody have to wake up all fucking early and come honor me one last time. Just to be like, I got you. Get your ass up. Don't miss a day of work. Stop by, have a donut and some coffee, and then you can go about your day. None of this 1 p.m. funeral.
You know, it just all happened at this weirdest, like, it was, things were so, like, normal. And then the pandemic happened, and my brother went down to get my father and brought him up here. And I drove him up to my sister's, and he was already so sick. I didn't even know why he was so sick for quite a while. Apparently he had gone and got some more radiation done. And it was just, that time in America was just so weird.
Yeah.
You know, between 2020 and 2022.
It was really weird.
It was really weird. Like, I went to Tulum. And while we were in Tulum, was it 22 of September? September 22?
Yeah. I went in October 21, and you went on the one right after that.
Yeah. So we went there, and there was a hurricane.
Yeah.
And where did the hurricane land? Where they lived.
Right. Your parents.
In Fort Myers.
Like while you were
While I was in Tulum.
way too far away to be able to do anything.
Well, luckily they weren't in that house anymore. They had been in that house for 20 years.
Oh, so they were already at their apartment.
They were in a nursing home.
Damn. So
Where the power went out for days on end.
So what did you do? Were you just like...
I just stayed in Tulum with Roger.
You were like, what can I do?
Yeah.
There's nothing you could have done. It's not like you could have gone and stopped the hurricane.
No. But the hurricane lifted their house and twisted it. It literally was up to the rafters inside, filled with water. We sold it. The family sold it 3 weeks before that happened.
Damn.
They had owned it for 20 years, and we sold it 3 weeks before that happened.
Oh, can you imagine buying the house and that happening?
No, I can't. I literally can't.
So now I hear, like, when you live in a place like Florida.
But
like,
it destroyed Fort Myers, so they couldn't stay there anymore.
Yeah.
Fort Myers was destroyed.
And to build homes in these places now, the amount of money you have to spend in insurance is like more than some people's house payments.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it costs so much to insure a house.
It's another reason to wait until Bitcoin takes hold.
Yeah.
Because I just want to have Bitcoin on the side. Fuck the insurance.
Yeah. And then
take the money from the insurance and put it in Bitcoin.
Yeah, insurance is a scam, bro.
It totally is. I remember when I was a kid watching this cartoon. I can't remember whether it was, I think it was a Woody Woodpecker cartoon where this guy is selling insurance to this wolf. I can't even remember why the main character was a wolf, but he kept like, that's when I learned that you never ever have enough insurance, which means it's a scam. And our entire culture is based on paying into something you're never going to get out of.
You have to have insurance. You have to have insurance. Yeah. Yeah. You even have to have health insurance. What if I don't want to fucking have health insurance?
Well, you don't have to.
Yeah, but you get fined, don't you?
Well, so there was this thing that got reposted recently where this guy was all about having Obamacare get put in place. And he had cancer and beat it twice. And as soon as it happened and got put in place, he could no longer afford insurance anymore. And every year, because it went up like a magnitude of 10 or 12.
The cost of the insurance?
Yeah, because he had pre-existing conditions.
Right.
And the idea was that you wouldn't be able to be denied. Well, they couldn't deny him.
Right.
But the premiums were so fucking high, he couldn't afford it.
Damn.
And so every year since then, he's had to pay a fine because he can't afford insurance.
Yeah, that's fucked up. That's fucked up. I mean, if you had $1 billion, you wouldn't need insurance.
Well, that's what I'm trying to do right now with my HSA account.
Save $1 billion in there?
Well, I don't think I'm going to get that high. But I'm just stacking.
Yeah.
I pay for all of my medical stuff out of pocket and keep the receipts.
Right.
So that it just keeps stacking.
Yeah.
Because I'm never going to be able to afford insurance when I get... Because as we age, we just get more and more...
More of a liability?
Yeah, and I was watching my father go to the doctor. And all they were doing was... pay the bill on the way out.
Yeah.
They're just shaking their head yes. And that'll be $120 for the visit.
Yeah.
And here's a script.
You can't blame them. That's the way the system's set up. That's all they're doing. I mean, that's the way the system is, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're just like products of that. It's not...
The incentives are totally fucked.
Yeah. And I mean, figure those doctors, the amount of money they got to pay now for their space
and they're not
their
the
staff.
ones. They're not the ones making the money. It's
yeah, totally.
And see, that's the thing that I don't get. Right, these corporations, they're all about their profit level, and that there's the incentives there too. But there's profit to who? To the buildings? Who?
Some fucker is getting rich. And there's some fucker out there.
I remember being in manufacturing back in Illinois, and I don't know if you're aware of this, but where was it? I can't remember the name of the part of Illinois, but it was just below Chicago, where it was the manufacturing or the machine shop, high-end machining of the world when I was a kid. I think it was Elk Grove. Anyway, the point I'm trying to make is that those guys never really they own these machine shops, and they never really invested back in their own industry, and that's why it got sent to China, because they didn't have this coalition of machine shops that had lobbyists that were that were following the regulatory to keep it from getting sent somewhere cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
And all of these guys had machine shops for anywhere between 100 to 40 years, you know?
Yeah.
And the only guy that was wealthy at the machine shop was the guy who owned it. And then it got sent to China. And it all went away.
Yeah, and it probably killed the town, right? What do people do then when 60% of people in the town work at that factory and 60% of people are out of work?
Yep.
And that happened over and over and over again.
Yep.
Hamden in Baltimore, that's what happened there.
Tell me more.
It was a mill town.
Hamden was a mill town?
Yeah. Yeah, it's right.
I thought that was closer to the water.
It's right off of Jones Falls. Jones Falls runs right through the back of Hamden.
What was the name of that? It was close to. When I first came out here, I started working at Alcor, and I remember the guys talking about the steel mill that they used to work at when they were younger.
Stife Silver? Is that what it was?
No.
No, I know the one right there. Because a friend of my mom's, her husband, used to work there. Bethlehem Steel.
Yes, that's it.
And Bethlehem Steel,
and it shut down, and
that was a big one.
Yep. Like Detroit. Oh my God.
Yeah. And then look at what happens. Look at the long-term impact of that. I mean, they're gentrifying areas now because people bought all that cheap land because, it was unlivable for people. Nobody moved there.
No, the whole Detroit just went under.
Yeah. They're really trying to build it back up from what I hear, and there's some nice parts of Detroit again, but that's crazy, man. What happened in Detroit. Mm-hmm. I mean, just if you ever see, I don't know your feelings on Michael Moore, but Roger and Me was his first documentary. And he wasn't really a filmmaker yet, mm-hmm. It's just him filming, trying to get to talk to Roger, who was the president of GM. And he wouldn't talk to him. And he just wanted to say, why are you closing down all these factories? You're killing Flint, Michigan.
Oh, God. You know about the drinking water in Flint, Michigan, right?
Yeah. I mean, Flint is cursed, man. They had all those plants closed, mm-hmm. and then the water.
And I don't know if I ever told you this, but I worked out near there. What's right? Lansing?
Yeah.
I worked in Lansing. I was there when the towers came down, which is right next to Flint.
Yeah.
I hadn't heard anything about it until I lived out there for a while.
Mm. Yeah.
And then I was really surprised that 20 years later, the water was worse. How bad are the incentives in that area that the voted in politicians won't do anything about the drinking water?
Yeah.
A basic thing like drinking water.
Yeah.
And how do they end up not going to jail for not dealing with it?
Yeah, knowing and not doing anything,
And
and like,
it's literally killing people.
yeah,
And then I don't know what happened with that whole thing with that train wreck in Pennsylvania. Did you hear about that one?
recently.
Yeah, this was like in the last year, I think it was. Well, apparently the reason the train wrecked was because they didn't take care of the trains.
They weren't doing maintenance and upkeep like they should have been,
So,
and the train fucking wrecked.
surprise, surprise, right?
Yeah, and killed a bunch of people.
Well, it did worse than that. It just the train wreck let all this like vinyl chloride out into the ecosystem.
Oh shit! Right now that's happening. I didn't hear about
This-
that one.
You probably did. I'm not saying the trigger words about the whole, but maybe not because I follow. It's kind of like getting on Reddit where you hear stuff that the legacy media, and I
Yeah.
like to call them the legacy media because they're done. They're not mainstream anymore.
I was thinking about how many T-shirts you could maybe sell if they went viral. Just a black T-shirt that says "fuck legacy media" on it,
You could totally sell a lot of those.
and try to get just like send it to Elon. Send one to Elon every week until he's like, I don't even know if you could get him a package, but if you found a creative way to every week, you know, he'd probably just be like, fuck it, I'll wear it. Or he might see it once and be like, this shirt's awesome.
All you got to do is make it X on one side,
Yeah.
and then on the back side, it's a it's a collage of all the legacy that it replaces.
Yeah, fuck legacy media shirts.
Yeah, he's right. They're not the news. They haven't been the news in a long time. Did you see that? Did you see that YouTube clip where the guy collected all of these TV stations saying the same exact thing? This is a threat to our democracy.
No.
There's literally like thousands of them. These news anchors saying the exact same phrase within the same week. And this guy made a YouTube clip of it. And it gets smaller and smaller. It's like that double mint gum commercial where or the shampoo commercial where it
Multiplies?
it gets smaller and smaller.
Mm-hmm.
And then right after, I think it was right after the election was over, they redid it where they used an AI to replace the word democracy with bureaucracy.
Bureaucracy?
Yeah, this is a threat to our bureaucracy. And he reposted that because that's more accurate to what they were actually complaining about.
Yeah, there was some town in Baltimore. They just measured the air, and there's lead in the air. When they tested the air quality, and they're like, this shit's been poisoning people for, decades. And it's left over from some kind of industry that was in that area. But yeah, dude, like air, water, like.
So there's this scientist that I'll have to dig it out and share it with you. But there's this scientist, this YouTube video about this guy who he came up with putting lead in gasoline as a lubricant.
Mm-hmm.
And it also made the car run more smoothly.
Yeah.
And it's the same guy
Yep.
who came up with fluorocarbons for Freon.
Yeah.
This one scientist is responsible for killing more people than anybody else on the planet ever.
Wow.
And they knew it was poisonous.
And they didn't care.
But you know what lead does to people, though, right?
No.
It makes them dumber it literally shaves off between 1 to 20 IQ points.
That's wild.
So it literally made all of society stupider. Not only did it poison people, but it made everybody stupider.
Yeah. And whole, like, towns of people, like, it's a thing. There
Yeah.
are towns of dumb people for reasons like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I wonder what that water does to people.
Well, I think the same YouTube channel put out another video about electric trains in all of these big cities. You realize that the car companies, they're the ones that shut down electric. They had electric trains all running in all of these cities, and the car industry bought up these train companies and shut them down, so they could sell more cars.
Yeah.
They literally created traffic jams in order to sell more product. The regulatory capture that has gone on in this country has just, I mean, just think of how far we would have grown technology-wise if they hadn't done this kind of shit.
Oh, yeah. It's not surprising at all.
I mean, technology has been doing this. Like, when's the first car? 1908?
Sounds about right.
1913, something like that. It's a little over 100 years.
It's not that long ago.
No.
No.
And computers. So, I mean, if we get rid of regulatory capture, and then recently they figured out that the cigarette industry didn't go away. They bought all the food companies. Doritos. Nestle.
Man, if you think back, like, that the automobile was invented like 2 people ago, man. 3 people ago. 3 people ago. So not your father, your father's father. So your...
My great-grandfather, my mom tells this story all the time. Grandpa used to walk home from the coal mines. I think he died younger than me. Younger than I am now.
Yeah, breathing in all that stuff.
Yeah, he had black lung. He drank all the time. And
But he was alive for the invention of the car.
mm-hmm.
Like,
And the TV.
yeah, that's not that long ago.
It's not that long ago.
I mean, your father was alive for the invention of the TV, right?
I think so.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know when people started getting TVs in their houses, but...
Well, it was the radio first, right?
Yeah.
So
That was the...
how many people had a TV when World War II took place?
Not that many.
They had a radio, right?
Yeah, everybody listened to the radio.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's not that long ago.
No.
Technology has advanced a lot.
Yeah, and governments, people are like, oh, well, it's, all this lying from the government is just a new thing. No, it's not. No, it's not.
No.
It's absolutely not. As fucked up as I think our elections are, I think we live in the best times, the most honest times that have ever been, because you just can't hide shit anymore.
Yeah, it's transparency.
It's. I don't know if you've seen some of the clips that the Democrats have been making lately, complaining about Elon, complaining about that continuing resolution bill that they just passed. But it's funny, the stuff that they're saying, like it matters anymore. They don't. It's like this. You get all these people that are first adopters. They all get a BlackBerry and they love being able to text each other, and they're high end, right? They're like sending data back and forth in text messages, and they've got these solid keyboards. And along comes the iPhone, and they're like, "Oh, that's no good. You got to have a physical keyboard." So literally, those people that are out in front get leapfrogged over because they won't adopt the new iPhone.
Yeah.
This is not a new thing. That kind of scenario just keeps happening again and again and again. And guys like you and me, we don't experience it as much as because we're always happy to see the new thing.
Yep.
We're early adopters.
I hung in there with a physical keyboard for a while. But when I made the switch to the iPhone, I think I did the 2.
What? You got the iPhone 2?
Yeah. I didn't get the 1.
Dude.
What?
You did not hang on very... I'm talking about people that waited until iPhone 7 before they got rid of their... They literally were buying whatever garbage BlackBerry was putting out to try to stick with BlackBerry just because it had a physical keyboard.
Yeah, the last BlackBerry.
And their old phone wouldn't work anymore.
Yeah.
It literally wasn't. It didn't have the right G service or whatever.
Yeah.
And so they had to get a new phone, and they were like, "I'm never getting an iPhone."
Yeah.
All those people have iPhones now. They either bought them themselves or their kids bought it for them. There was guys at work that were like, "I'm never getting rid of my flip phone." And I walked into his office. I go, "Hey, Mark, what's that you got there?" I know it's an iPhone. He goes, "Yeah, my son bought this for me." He said, "I'm tired of dealing with you not being able to respond to my text messages."
Yeah. Flip phones are for drug dealers, man. That's the only person that benefits from a flip phone.
Because they don't have GPS on them.
Yeah. You take the battery out, break the phone.
Wasn't that part of The Wire?
That's part of like every show with drug dealers.
I mean, like, what's that guy's name? I can't remember how to say his name. He's become the most famous guy from The Wire now, I think.
Omar?
No, he was in a Star Trek movie. He's been in a lot of different movies since then. I can't remember how to say his name.
Idris Elba?
Yes.
No.
I actually met him.
Yeah?
When I lived in Baltimore. He was at the, you know where I lived? So there was a
Canton, yeah.
There was a cafe on the water down there. And they were shooting in Baltimore.
Yeah.
So a bunch of the guys from The Wire showed up there one night. And I went over and said hi to like 4 of them.
Yeah.
And, you know, I didn't bother them too much.
They used to come to Whole Foods all the time.
But they talked to me for like 10 minutes, you know?
Yeah, they were like regular dudes.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Every famous person that ever come to Baltimore used to go shopping at Whole Foods. They just get their food delivered now. But like, yeah, all the Wire people, like, because you figure if you're making a TV show, Homicide, The Wire, like, you're living there for an extended period of time. Like, that's your home.
They took over that building down in, you just mentioned it.
Fells Point.
Yeah.
The Homicide, the police station in Homicide is that building right there in the middle.
It was an abandoned building, too, wasn't it?
Yeah.
When they started filming there?
That's a really nice,
Is the building still there?
really nice high-end hotel now.
Is it?
A hotel, restaurant. I forget the name of it, but they put a lot of money into that.
Maybe that'll be our dry run with the guys before we all go to Vegas together. We'll get them to spend one night
In a hotel in Baltimore?
Yeah, we're gonna go to Baltimore. We're gonna go out to dinner at Fells Point, and we're gonna stay overnight.
What do you think about if we if we went to Vegas, what are we going to do? Stay in hotels on the Strip? Or are we going to get an Airbnb? Like,
What do you think's the best idea?
I would explore. You could probably get a pretty cool Airbnb.
I think an Airbnb would be
Vegas.
the best thing.
It's super cost effective.
Yeah.
I mean, but we would have some space because there may be people in our party that need a little space.
It's grumpy time. He needs sneezes.
Yeah.
They might want their own bathroom.
They might want their own bathroom. So
We might want them to have their own bathroom.
yeah. Yep. So I think an Airbnb is the move.
I think you're right.
Because we don't need to stay on the strip.
I'm down for whatever.
Yeah.
I think that's the best approach to getting a bunch of guys together. Is you just got to go with the fucking flow.
Well, let's find a really awesome Airbnb that's not like crazy expensive. And let's find the Airbnb and then say, hey, let's go stay at this place in Las Vegas. I think
I think probably what we'll end up doing is getting some dates from everybody, right? And then you and we're going to go at this time to this place.
Yeah, join.
You guys, we're going to get at least 3 other people to come.
Yep. Yeah, and we could just Turo a Cybertruck when we're there.
I think that's a great idea.
How fucking cool would that be?
Take a desert run.
How cool would that be?
There's got to be something. You want to go out in the desert. There's got to be some sort of touristy thing to go out to some place where some gangster was axed in the desert.
Yeah. It's got to be something like that.
Yeah. What else did you want to do? You had some good ideas.
I went to Hoover Dam once and it was really cool.
The Hoover Dam, the Sphere.
You take a tour of like under the Hoover Dam and everything. You go inside.
You said there was a murder?
There's a museum that like has weird shit in it. Like serial killer related shit. But like other stuff too.
Was it you that Jacob was telling the story to me with? About, yeah, we were talking about it on the beach where they recreated CSI.
Yeah.
Is that museum there?
No, that museum is at the Baltimore.
You think they have another one there?
No, I don't think they have that there. That's one very specific woman who made those dioramas.
Here in Baltimore?
Here in Baltimore.
Well, maybe we could plan our dry run near that.
You have to sign up. There's like a 6-month waiting list to go. It's not a real museum. I don't think they do groups. It's just like an appointment that Jacob like put in for.
Oh, okay.
And they were like, "Here's your date."
Okay.
It's like actually
it's a single.
It's like a room at the coroner's office or something.
Okay. That is cool though.
Vegas Atomic Testing Museum.
That'd be cool.
There's a mob museum. There's a neon museum with like all crazy lights and shit. You go to it at night and everything. It's wild. The Haunted Museum. So it's a paranormal museum. It's for paranormal enthusiasts. Will wander through creepy hallways and secret passages of the 11,000 square foot property, rumored to be home to many spirits from years past. And they have like, like Robert the doll, the cursed doll.
No, tell me about this.
Robert the doll is this fucking doll that like, it's like a cursed doll. Like there were movies they made about it. What's that? Insidious or something? It's based on like the same idea of like a cursed doll.
Okay.
But he's this like legendary like doll. Anyway, this guy just got the fucking doll. And they have like weird stuff like that.
All right, I got to take a quick break, and then when we come back, I want you to finish telling me about that, and then I want you to tell me about that picture you sent me.
Okay.
I'm not leaning into this mic enough, am I?
I don't know. I think we're good. I think I wouldn't get any closer.
Okay.
Your voice projects.
Okay.
When you get closer, it starts popping a little bit.
Okay.
Okay, you can go to a gun range in Las Vegas in the desert, and you can fire a grenade launcher and blow up a car. They have BattleBots Destructathon, which you can go and watch robots fight each other. There's a pinball museum. That'll get Jacob. Jacob loves him some fucking pinball. And Red Rock National Park is right there. And it's like an awesome place to hike.
Jim's going to want to do that.
Yeah. So there's all kinds of crazy shit we can do, man. I mean, it's like entertainment capital of the world, right? Mm-hmm. That museum, that paranormal museum, has Jack Kevorkian's van.
Jack.
The doctor, that
Dr. Death?
Dr. Death. It's got his van, and it's also got the car that James Dean was killed in, or what's left of it.
What's left of it?
Yeah.
What was it, a Porsche?
I believe so.
It was gray Porsche.
Yeah.
If he had just picked a different color, he'd probably still be alive. Well, maybe not still alive, but he wouldn't have died there.
I mean,
have you ever seen any of his movies?
Yeah, I've seen Rebel Without a Cause.
Did you see Cat on a Hot Tin Roof?
Nope.
Or was it Big? Giant.
Nope.
Giant was with what was his name? Rock
Hudson.
Yeah. I think both of those, Cat on a Hot Tin Roof and Giant, was with Rock Hudson.
Rock Hudson was one of the first people I remember to like publicly die of AIDS. Right? Like,
I think so.
because like Freddie Mercury died from AIDS, right? But it wasn't like a public knowledge thing. But like Rock Hudson was like,
Well, I think it was pretty well known that that was what was going on.
yeah, but I mean, Rock Hudson was like, he's got AIDS. Or like, I just remember hearing that. Because I mean, in the 80s, like people were scared to death of AIDS, man.
I remember. I was
Yeah.
coming of age during the 80s.
Yeah. That was a big, I mean, you didn't know, you thought you could contract it by sitting on the same toilet seat or somebody or using the same doorknob.
What
like
was it? Rob Lowe's brother, Chad,
Chad Lowe?
who was in a movie about. And then there was Tom Hanks, who was in a movie about that. Philadelphia?
I believe it's called Philadelphia.
Philadelphia.
Yeah, Las Vegas. Plenty of stuff we can do.
Yeah.
How many days? Like,
Well, you don't go to Vegas for more than 3 days.
yeah. Take the red eye in. Get there like 9 o'clock at night. And then you have that. That's like a whole night.
I don't know. I'm not sure if we can get the old guys to do a red eye.
That's the way you do it, because then you get an extra evening in Las Vegas.
I think probably what'll end up happening is like you and I'll go out there and get everything all set up.
Yeah.
We'll show up at the airport in the Turo rented Cybertruck.
I don't, man. I don't know if Roger's going to be allowed to go. Roger, are you going to be allowed to go? I mean, ask permission, ask nicely, but you have to ask now.
He's funny.
He is funny. I know you hate red tape and just bullshit. I had a hellacious experience this week over the past 2 weeks getting a package. And then it multiplied. The problem multiplied, and it was 2 packages that I had a hard time getting. But like, my brother and I, we went in and we bought my mom something for Christmas. An Hermes bracelet. From Hermes Paris. She really liked it. We went in on it. She doesn't know we're getting it. So we wanted to do like really surprise the shit out of her. So we bought this bracelet. UPS. So the package, I have to sign for it, which they didn't tell me when I bought it. I'm sure it was in the fine print. So I'm like, okay. Day one, I'm like, shit, I missed the delivery. I'm just going to get this sent to a UPS store so I can go sign for it there.
Mm-hmm.
It's against our policy. And I'm like...
Whose policy? UPS's?
UPS's. Because of the... No, I'm sorry. It's against Hermes's policy to have UPS change it. So I call UPS. I tried the online chat. Impossible to get a person at UPS, but I finally did. And they're like, sorry, man. You have to talk to the shipper. That's the shipper's policy. Fancy company like Hermes, right? They're like, you're paying for the extra customer service. So I call them. Woman was incredibly nice on the phone, but was like, I'm sorry, we can't do that. It's against our policy. And I'm like, I work the next 4 days. I know I'm not going to be home for this package. I need it sent to a store, and then I can go pick it up. No, sorry, we can't do it. What's the best you can do for me? I need to talk to your supervisor. I'm never asked to talk to anybody's supervisor. Supervisor gets on the phone. I'm like, please, can you waive this policy? No, we can't do it.
It's not a law, it's a policy.
So, we have a solution for you, Mr. White. We can reroute it to a different address for you. So I'm like, okay, my work address. I know I'll be at work. And they're like, well, we got to tell you, UPS, sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. It depends on where it's at in their system. And I was like, I get it. It's a chance I have to take. They finally ended up, but then it took a whole nother week. It's like a good thing I ordered it early.
Yeah.
And then I had the exact same situation with the iPhone I ordered for my kid for Christmas. I missed the delivery. Last day, I had no other choice. I had to have him stay home from school to sign for the package. Because this one was FedEx, and FedEx would not send it to a FedEx location for me to sign for. It's against our policy. So I had to have him stay home and sign for his own package, which he had no idea. And then school called me. And they were like, you put other on his absence form. And I was like, they were like, we need a little more information than that.
Excuse me?
Right? So I was like, okay, you want to know what it was? I had a very important package getting delivered. And I was going to be at work, and I needed him to sign for it. And she's like, well, that doesn't qualify for an emergency reason. And I said, with all due respect, I'm a single parent. I don't really have a whole lot of help. And he is the only person that I had that was able to stay home and sign for this package. So it kind of wasn't an emergency for us and for our family. So I don't care whether you record it as a lawful absence or not, but I'm just be sympathetic
They wanted you to lie.
the reason why I did it. And I said, and I'm not going to lie to you, tell you he was sick or whatever. Like, that's what happened. It was like, you got to be kidding me, man. Put yourself in my shoes for a second.
For one day?
For one day.
You know why this is, right?
What?
So that they can get paid.
Oh, they get more money from the government based on
They get money from the government.
the amount of school days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that they can get paid. But your son's always at school.
Yeah, he's got all A's and B's.
He's not. Yeah. So it has nothing to do with anything that's legitimate. It's kind of like that story I told you about the the intellectual who's at the baseball game with his 6-year-old and he buys a Mike Hard lemonade.
I don't know this one.
Yeah, he buys a Mike Hard lemonade. He doesn't drink. He doesn't have any idea that it's alcohol lemonade.
He just sees lemonade.
Yeah.
So he buys it for his kid?
He figures that's just the name of it, Mike's Hard Lemonade.
Yeah.
And so somebody sees his kid with it in his hand. He's obviously not going to drink very much of it. Kids don't like alcohol.
Yeah, but have you tasted that shit? That tastes like lemonade.
Right. And so somebody sees them, and long story short, I won't tell you the entire thing, his kid ends up in living with somebody else for like 3 weeks for them to try to get it back because no one will be understanding. Well, this is just our policy.
Oh, like Child Protective Services took the kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this kid had no idea anything would have never known, right?
Right.
But instead now he's traumatized.
That's
Having to go and stay at somebody else, some stranger's house.
Yeah, that's terrible. Because his father didn't know.
Yeah. We're living in a society where there's just zero understanding.
Yeah, you just gotta, right?
The bureaucracy is so thick. And even the judge was just like, well, I have to do my job.
Yeah, no, you don't.
Well, your job as a judge is to judge the situation and then go, obviously.
Yeah.
There's no other problems ever.
Hey, bud. Now you know what Mike's Hard Lemonade is. Don't do it again. Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
It could have stopped right there with the policeman that walked up to them.
She's like, oh, honest mistake.
Yeah.
Meanwhile,
because if you're really trying to get over on anybody, you just take the Mike's Hard Lemonade and you want your kid to have it. You pour it in a cup if you actually know what, and no one would have been the wiser.
Yeah, there's a way to do that.
Right. Not hand them the...
Or if you take,
Yeah.
you fill this with vodka.
Right.
And put the cap on, and they'll let you bring this into Merriweather for a concert. You just put it in boiling water upside down and soften up the plastic. And you pull the top right off. Fill it with vodka. While the cap's hot, you put it back on. And then it seals again. And then all they check when you go into Merriweather is if it's open or not. So you just walked into Merriweather with a bottle of vodka. It's a baller move.
I wish I had known that when I was drinking.
Oasis has got their reunion shows coming up.
Yeah.
And they're building the venue inside this giant park. People are going there and burying their drugs now. So their drugs will be on the inside of the concert. And they have the coordinates, and they can just go and dig up their shrooms or whatever
They
they
can
bring.
even just put an air tag with it.
Yeah, just be like, it's right here. Yep. It's like, technology is amazing.
I guess they probably shouldn't use air tags because they could go around the place and scan for a bunch of air tags.
Yeah.
Our tiles and find them all and dig them up.
Yeah.
And
Do you
then
have any air tags?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I put them in. They annoy the shit out of me. Probably should just stop using them.
What do you have them in your luggage when you travel?
I have
and stuff?
that backpack that I carry with me, but it's mostly an annoyance.
Why? Because it
Pops up on, like I'll drive to some place I've never been before and I'll leave the bag in the car and I get, 5 minutes away from it. It's like, oh, you left your bag behind.
Okay.
Or I have one in my car so that it,
Right. If you're parked somewhere.
Yeah. But, I think in the next year, all this stuff's going to get a whole lot smarter.
I saw somebody saying they have stickers now.
Yeah.
That do the same thing. And
Yeah.
It's like, it's a matter of time before that air tag is way too big.
Oh, it already is.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm surprised they haven't come out every year with a smaller version and just sold more and more of them.
Yeah.
A good thing to do is they all have these little speakers on them, right?
Mm-hmm.
Supposed to, sometimes it forgets that I'm the one who put it in the car.
Yeah.
And I'll hear this. What is this? And it's my AirTag tweeting at me.
Because
in case it's you who put it in the car.
Right.
It's letting me know.
You get an alert, hey, there's an AirTag traveling with you.
Yeah.
They had to put that on there because, like, women were getting creeped on, man. Some creep dog's like, oh, I want to see where this chick lives. Click.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
it's really stupid people, too, because talk about signing your... They can track right back to you.
Yeah. People, I mean, I remember when, like, seeing Batman put a tracker on somebody's car, and you were like, wow, he's got a tracker on the car. And now just, you can buy that on Amazon for $30. It's crazy.
So tell me about this picture with Reagan.
Ronald Reagan. So it was 1994. My dad was, deep in dealing autographs and historical documents and everything. There was another guy, I don't know where in the world he was, but he went, I believe in California, there's a presidential library for Ronald Reagan.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a library, so you can go in and you can check out documents and you can review the real documents.
Mm-hmm.
Going back in history, stuff Ronald Reagan signed or whatever. So this guy was stealing documents out of the Reagan library.
Mm-hmm.
He was selling them on the black market to document dealers like my father. So somebody contacted my dad and was like, listen, this guy's got these documents. I don't know, some government agency was involved.
They wanted to get him back.
They wanted to get the documents back. They wanted to catch the guy doing it.
Yeah.
So
So your dad was part of a sting.
my dad was part of a sting. They had him, supposedly he was going to be the guy to verify this document. And I don't think he ever got the documents in his hand. Like, he didn't do the exchange, but he talked to the guy on the phone about the documents. And the guy was like, I have this, signed by this. And that was pretty much all they needed. Then they busted the guy with the documents in his possession. So, as a thank you from the Reagan Library, they said, the president would like to meet you for, and thank you in person.
Cool.
And my dad's buddy was the main one, and then he got my dad in. So, and my dad said, hey, can I bring my son? And they were like, absolutely. So my dad, I had to go to school. I was like a sophomore in high school or a freshman. Hey, principal, I need a couple of days off because I'm going to meet Ronald Reagan. And it was pretty cool. They were like, wow, We flew to California because that's where Reagan's office is. He had an office.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what year he got diagnosed with Alzheimer's, but it was before that. So he was still in his office, and it was in Century City. And my dad and I went, and then we saw my dad's buddy and his wife because they had the meeting before us. And we were like sitting out in the waiting room. And then, that guy's whatever, probably a 10-minute meeting was over. And they came out and they got us and they took us into this room. Secret Service was everywhere. So a couple of things I didn't realize. I didn't realize Secret Service was like in full protection of even the people that aren't president anymore.
Oh, yeah.
And then
They have Secret Service for life. There's been movies made about it.
Yeah. And then I didn't realize, I was like, what do you call him? You call him Mr. Reagan? And be like, nope. You call him President Reagan. Once a president, always a president.
Yeah.
So we went into the room, and then like another door opened over in the corner, and Ronald Reagan came walking in. And I mean, he was like the president the whole time I was growing up as a kid. It was wild. And he was a little out of it. So, and my dad brought to show him JFK's wallet and Abraham Lincoln's wallet. and he just thought, like, being a president, he would think that's really cool, right?
Yeah.
So my dad and me, and then there's a Secret Service agent, and there's Ronald Reagan. And the Secret Service agent is like, Mr. Reagan, or President Reagan, Mr. White has something to show you. And my dad was like, yeah, I brought these to show you. Lincoln's wallet, Kennedy's wallet. Ronald Reagan holds them. They were like on this little like thing. And Ronald Reagan's like, wow, this is amazing. And he's like, thank you so much. These are going to be a wonderful addition to my presidential library on display. And like my dad was like, and then the Secret Service agent was like, President Reagan, I think Mr. White's just showing you the wallets. He's not giving them. He's like, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. So that was like a funny moment. And then like he turned his attention on me.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, how old are you, young man? And I was like, 14, Mr. President. And he was like, hang on a second. I think I have something for you. And he goes around the corner to his desk and goes in his desk drawer. And he pulled out a yo-yo. And he gave me a yo-yo with the presidential seal on there.
That's awesome.
And it's this white.
You still have it, right?
Oh, yeah. It's a white yo-yo with blue lettering printed on it.
Did he sign it?
He did not sign it.
Oh, man.
There's really no place to sign the yo-yo. And he couldn't sign in person. That's how kind of far off he was.
No initials or nothing.
No initials or nothing. Like he was shaken too. I don't know if he had Parkinson's.
Yeah, I think he did.
So we got that picture taken, and then you can't really see it that well because he signed it in black pen, but they did have him autograph that picture. I don't know whether he wrote it or not.
Do you know the company Fracture Me?
Fracture Me? No.
See that right there? That picture over there?
Yeah.
So I got that picture from my brother-in-law. That's my niece on top of the St. George.
Yep.
Running through a sprinkler, and there's the two towers in the background. Well, you can get like a whole bunch of different sizes of printed on glass.
Yeah.
That's one I would definitely get printed on glass.
That might be a good one.
With the initials on it.
Yeah.
And you could run it through whatever software you need to clean up
I could bring that out of it.
Yeah, that's something I would I would definitely.
Yeah, it was pretty cool, man. It was pretty surreal.
Put that picture up on the wall.
Yeah, it was awesome. And then, I got to go back to school and tell everybody.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So tell me about the tie.
The tie was just,
It's an interesting tie you got on.
I wore a tie to school every day. It was one of my school ties.
Oh, okay.
Yep. It's
very in because it's a wide, long type of tie.
Yeah.
They're still in.
Yeah, I didn't really have like a huge tie game. That was just one of my ties. That was one of my nicer ties. My father had hundreds of ties, man. He was a tie guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he wore a suit everywhere. It's like 1950s style, you know what I mean? That's what he did.
Mm-hmm.
We go to a sporting event, he'd wear a suit. It's just what he did. So, but yeah, Reagan was going back and telling I had to share the pictures with school, and I had to give a talk about it in one of my classes and stuff. It was pretty neat. And
you didn't happen to record it, did you?
No.
Your talk?
My talk? No.
That would have been cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I never really, would have been easy because if I did that now, I would just be like, let me record that. You know? But it wasn't like that. You need to find a tape recorder.
There's not too many people had those back then.
No. The little mini cassettes.
Well, it was 94. I guess they had VHS video cams.
94. They had VHS and they had 8 millimeters. Those were I think that's probably the time that those 8mm tapes were very, like some of the height of the technology. And I don't know, 94 still might have been, that shit might have been real expensive in 94 still. I bought a high 8 camcorder in 2000. And then came mini DV.
Yeah.
28 days later, the zombie movie was filmed on mini DV.
Do you think they're going to show that one again with the 28 years later at the Alamo?
At the Alamo?
I went to see the new Halloween.
Oh, yeah?
And they showed the old Halloween just before it at the Alamo.
Yeah, that's pretty fucking cool.
Yeah.
At the, like outside?
No, I'm the Alamo Theater.
Oh, I thought you meant at the fucking Alamo.
No. Maybe they'll have it at the Senator.
There's weird rights with the first one. You cannot find, it's not on streaming.
Well, that's why I think it might be at a theater too.
The DVD is like $100 right now. It's hot right now.
Yeah.
If you have a copy of that on DVD, you should sell it.
I don't.
But you see the new one's shot on an iPhone 15. Not the entirety of it, but
Are you going to watch it? Are you going to see it?
Yeah, I want to see that movie. I love the first one. And I want to say I like have some kind of memory of one in the middle. There's a 28 days later. I believe there's a 28 weeks later. And this one's 28 years later.
What happened to 28 months?
I don't know. I think. I don't know.
I think you're right. I thought there was more than one.
But I don't know.
I thought there was at least 3 of them, 28 days.
I don't know.
This is good work for the AIs.
Yeah. Come on, you fucker. How many movies are in the 28 Days Later series? "28 Days Later," 28 Weeks Later was in 2007. And then 28 Years Later is 2025. So, yep, this is the third one. But I never heard anybody talk about 28 Weeks Later, 2007. But yeah, I'm sure. I mean, what's his name? Cillian Murphy? Is it Cillian or Killian? Cillian Murphy? Was in the first one. I don't know if he was in the second one, but they were making a big deal about him being back for this one.
Yeah.
Yep. The Scarecrow in Batman.
What else was he in? Wasn't he in? He was good as the Scarecrow in Batman.
Yeah, he was great in that. He was in a lot of stuff. I think 28 Days Later was like his first like breakout one, and then he did a lot of shit after that.
That's not the same guy that did Peaky Blinders, is it?
I never saw Peaky Blinders, but I think he's got something to do with that.
He did. Who's the guy who was it? El Salamos.
At what?
I'm having a brain fart. Oppenheimer.
Oh yeah, that's the guy who played Oppenheimer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a good actor. Did you see Oppenheimer?
No.
It's a good movie. Did you know that Robert Downey Jr. is in there too?
Yep.
He does a good job character acting in that.
Yeah.
Plays this guy is really slimy.
Yeah.
He thinks everybody's talking about him.
Good. I'm happy he did something like outside of Iron Man. I was like, good for him, man.
You know he was in Weird Science, right?
I've seen Weird Science hundreds of times.
Did
I
you know
love
that was
movie.
him in there?
Yes. Yeah, man, that's a...
Drops the slushy on him.
Yeah. There's a big sale at Towel City. It's a white sale. My father used to make me watch that all the time because my father loved Kelly LeBrock, man. Kelly LeBrock is like ridiculously hot in that movie.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. Like they did that right.
It's a great movie.
She was, you know who she married, right?
No.
Steven Seagal.
Wow.
Yeah. But yeah, that is a great movie. Anthony Michael Hall,
Bill Paxton.
Bill Paxton, Chet.
Yep.
Yeah. That's a great movie, man. I'm surprised that they haven't tried to remake that. Because they've tried to remake everything else. I'm surprised they haven't tried to remake that.
I'm not sure how you would even...
They just reboot everything now.
It wouldn't be any good.
It definitely wouldn't. Well, they did a TV show. You remember the TV show?
That movie in itself isn't very good.
I
It
don't
was
know.
timing.
I mean, that's like...
It was the people they put in it, and it was timing. Everybody liked everybody who was in it. You know.
I mean, it's a great, like... There's no moral of the story. It's just a plain on, like, comedy. Like, I wish they still made movies like that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to learn anything sometimes. I just want to, like, watch some dumbass movie and laugh.
I think that sums up a lot of the movie. I haven't been back to the theater in years. I don't think I've been back to watch a movie since the pandemic because I'm not interested in what they're selling me. I want to go to a movie about whatever that stupid thing is about.
Yeah. You don't like the content of you don't like the films.
The sub message.
I mean, everything's got to, like...
It's why Disney is down, what, 22 billion or some astronomical number.
Oh, really? Like
Yeah.
Disney profits are down?
Oh yeah, they're just getting killed because nobody wants to deal with their bullshit.
I've never been a fucking Disney guy, man. Yeah.
I think their films are awesome. And then all of a sudden they're not.
Yeah.
You know? And they had this franchise, Star Wars, that they could have done all sorts of really cool stuff with. And it just totally, like, Han Solo movie could have been so freaking awesome.
I don't think people don't care about it like they used to. They overdid it, man. They overdid it.
I think they tried too hard.
They made too many. Like that show Mandalorian, I'm sure it's a good show, but like...
You haven't seen that one? That's actually...
I watched a little bit of it with Jackson, but they're watering the shit down, man.
Yeah.
You know, like...
Yeah.
Put out 3 movies every 10 fucking years. Like, create a little demand for some stuff. You know what I mean? Like...
Yeah.
It's, you know, I don't know. And there's a million different animated series, and there's this and there's that. It's very watered down. And most things are like that. Batman has turned into that.
So what do you think of the Superman reboot with James Gunn?
You know what? I've seen it pop up on my social media feeds, and I'm like, oh, they're rebooting Superman. Like, I don't know any other thing about it. But, like, they're just... I don't know. I'll probably watch it if it's on TV, but...
It'll probably be... James Gunn is good at what he does, but I was a little disappointed in what I've seen so far.
I just feel like we've already rebooted Superman. There were just a whole series of Superman movies. I took Jackson to him when he was little. So in the last
Well, they were good.
10 years,
They were better than the previous ones.
yeah, they weren't bad at all.
They were gritty.
Yeah.
They had some like, well, how do you get Superman in danger? And they were believable,
Yep.
you know?
And then they did the whole Justice League, Ben Affleck's Batman, and they,
Yeah.
you know, like that was all intertwined. They fucked Zack Snyder on that.
Did you see his reboot of it?
Yeah.
I loved his cut of that. But I
No.
didn't go to the theater to see it.
I enjoyed the whole thing where they made it like the world's reaction to them, the world's reaction to Superman, an outsider, an alien. Like, I liked it. It was good. But man, they took a long time to get there.
And did you see The Flash or
Yeah.
Flashpoint? Was it The Flash or Flashpoint?
Mm-hmm.
You saw that?
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was decent, but did you see the cartoon of it?
No.
Flashpoint?
No.
It's better.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I noticed when they were making all of the Marvel films is that there was this Avengers Assemble cartoon,
Yep.
and all of their movies, they don't veer off of what the cartoons were.
Yeah.
They basically have the exact same storyline. They didn't recreate the wheel.
Nope.
They just took that storyline and they made it better. They didn't go, well, we're going to do this instead.
Yeah.
And the DC set of films, they're just all over the place.
What is the whole thing with the new Superman? What is
Well, he's young again, right?
is there a premise to it? Is
The only thing I've seen so far is, for some reason or another, he is wounded and crashes into somewhere in the Arctic or something like that, somewhere where it's really cold.
mm-hmm.
And what's the name of his dog? Krypton?
Yeah.
I've never seen him in any other movies, and he shows up to rescue him. So, I don't know. I love the Guardian of the Galaxy movies.
Yeah, those are good.
So I'm hoping that there's a James Gunn twist to all of these that's decent.
Like, we probably don't need another origin story.
But it's definitely not like the old ones, because there's never been a super dog in the old ones. But I just felt like they didn't finish the storyline
Of the last reboot.
with all the Justice. Like, they're supposed to go Superman dark,
Agreed.
and it's supposed to be that Superman. Like, are you stupid? He's an amazing actor.
So hold on, this one follows that one?
No.
No, this one's a reboot.
This is a
different universe.
reboot. This is
Yeah. They just did that.
it's like, I don't know if it's a reboot. I think it's supposed to be him younger.
Okay. Same universe, but before.
Yeah, because even the costume looks very similar.
Mm-hmm.
And he actually looks quite a bit like, what's his name?
Henry Cavill.
Henry
Cavilli.
Cavill. Yeah. He actually looks a lot like him.
So it's going to be like, figures out he's Superman, learns how to use his powers as a
I don't
little
know if
kid.
it's going that far back.
Yeah.
It seems to me like he's already Clark Kent.
Okay. Yeah. I watched the new Joker movie.
I heard, before you go further, I heard not very much about it at all, but not good things.
Yeah, I mean it. I haven't heard anything good about it, so I was expecting it to be a lot worse. I mean, I made it through the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's only one movie I ever walked out of, and that was Mario and Luigi.
The live action one?
Yeah,
Yeah.
with John Luigiano.
Yep.
I'm not saying his name right, but
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. And who's the guy in it that plays Mario? Bob Hoskins.
yeah,
And isn't Dennis Hopper in that?
yeah.
Yeah.
His part was actually decent.
Yeah.
I still walked out of it. I'm not sure why. I just felt like it was talking down to me. I think that's what I hate about a lot of the Disney films. They're like talking down to people.
Yeah. I haven't seen too many of the Disneys, man.
I don't go to the theater anymore. It's just like I don't feel the need.
It's not an enjoyable experience. It's
I
not.
used to go at the midnight showing on Thursdays to see it, to be the first ones to see it.
Yeah.
You know, go to the theater. I have no desire to do that anymore.
I'm with you, man.
It's just there's just no the theaters are shit too. The popcorn shit.
Yep.
There's nothing about the theater experience that is anything other than garbage.
And now you got to deal with people that order a whole goddamn meal during the movie and have it brought to their seat. So they order all this food on their phone, and then you got to, in the middle of you trying to watch a movie, there's a waiter coming through and like serving people, and people asking for more sauce and ordering another drink, and it's ridiculous.
They're trying to. So the Alamo Theater that I was telling you about, they actually built this theater before the other theaters started to try to do that.
Mm-hmm.
But it's tiered, and it's a small theater.
Yeah.
So it's tiered so that there's a space for these people to walk, and you don't see them, right? And there's lights that are underneath. There's like a railing with a table in front of you for you to have your food on, and there's lights underneath it that shine down and don't shine in your. So it's built for this. It isn't.
Yeah, man, get that shit out of here, man. Why would you want to have to worry about if there's enough mayonnaise on your burger while you're trying to watch a damn movie?
Mm-hmm.
I don't need to drink a beer during my fucking movie. Like,
I actually like the Alamo Theater, but I get your point too.
Darkness all around me. I don't want any distractions. I'm focusing on that 2 hours.
But the Alamo Theater is more about like, I went and saw the 1996 version of Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Right.
You know, and they had an intermission, and they played the Mattel commercials for their toys during the intermission.
Right.
You know?
That would be fun.
So it's all this. This is the venue.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
There's where is that place?
It's
Is it in Virginia?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I was out in near the Dulles Airport.
Yeah, I forget what town, but all those towns in Virginia are the same. Leesburg, fucking whatever. They're all the same.
Sterling is where I worked, but that's not where the theater's at.
There's also Silver Spring has a really good theater.
Yeah.
AFI.
I think you'd enjoy the Alamo Theater, but the theater you're talking about isn't set up like that. They're just a bunch of recliners.
Yeah, it sucks.
It's stupid. It's not set up so that somebody walks in front of you, they're blocking your ass.
It's terrible.
Terrible. This has a whole bunch of. It's like 3 different waiters, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're coming in and they're not having a conversation. They're just, here's the thing off the menu.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And they're also ducking down and.
Yeah.
But that's what the theater is. That's what the theater has been from inception. They didn't turn AMC into this.
Yep. It's just a better experience to watch a movie at your damn house now, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Just hit pause.
Yeah, hit pause if you got to take a whiz.
Rewind it, turn on the closed caption if you can't understand what the fuck they're saying.
Yep. Yeah.
And people are like, why do kids watch everything with the text on? It's because the sound quality is shit nowadays.
Yeah. I watch most things with the text on.
Kids do it, right? our age, hearing not quite as good as it used to be, but kids are doing it because the sound tracks of these movies are shit.
Yeah. So maybe our hearing isn't that bad.
Probably isn't.
Yeah. It's the way the audio is recorded. It's not
Intelligible?
Yeah, half the time it's not.
I mean, sometimes I'll have it on, the text on, and I'll rewind it. And like there is no fucking way they just said that. There is no way they said that.
I do notice when I watch it. Do you ever watch movies? Do you watch movies with the text on?
Oh, I watch everything with the text on nowadays.
It is like standard when they put in parentheses like something that the actor does, smacks lips. They say smacks lips in there more than anything I've ever seen. Every show I watch,
I haven't noticed
smacks
this.
Lips. Smacks
now
lips.
It's going to stand out and annoy me. Thank you.
Yeah. Smacks lips. It's
Or they tell you the type of music that is playing.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Suspenseful music.
Yeah.
Well, if you didn't know, if you were deaf, you'd be like, oh, something's going to happen. It's suspenseful music.
Yeah.
You wouldn't know what it sounds like, though. I watched that one on, it's about the black dude who, like, everybody's after him. It's on Netflix. It's called, shit, I can't think of it. But yeah, everybody's after this black dude, and he's a CNN anchor, and they're framing him because he's outspoken.
Isn't that the same guy we were talking from The Wire?
It's not Idris Elba. It's not.
Are you saying his name exactly right?
Idris Elba.
I thought it was Aldras Elba or something like that.
I don't know.
Idris. Okay. Did you see the one where he plays a genie?
No.
It's like 10,000 years
Kind of remember that one.
It's good. He plays a genie in it, and it's good.
I've seen him play like he was in that one with Matthew McConaughey where they were like futuristic cowboys or something in a city. Yeah, that guy's been in a lot of shit.
Oh, you're talking about a Stephen King movie, aren't you?
Yeah.
I've never watched that one all the way through. I've seen pieces of it.
Forget what it's called.
Where Matthew McConaughey is basically the devil.
Yes.
And Idris is a gunman.
Yep. That's exactly the movie.
Yeah.
I don't know.
He's in some good movies.
Yeah, that guy's done a lot of stuff. He's a good actor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember meeting him. He was extremely polite. Telling me about work that he'd coming up and other things that he was going to be in. And
yeah, those guys don't have to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Then there's the guy who played a policeman. It was funny because I think it was 4 of them that were together, and 2 of them were in The Wire that were policemen, and 2 of them were drug dealers.
Right.
And they're all hanging out together at the what was the name of it? The Inner Harbor Cafe or the Bay Cafe or something like that.
Bay Cafe.
Yeah.
I've been there.
They brought in the palm trees every year.
Yeah, and they got sand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Bay Cafe.
But
I thought it was funny because it was like the two, they're shooting the show, right? And you got the bad guys and the good guys, and they're hanging out together having a beer at the cafe.
Yeah.
It was interesting.
I like the Sip and Bite. That was my spot when I go to Canton.
I'd been there a couple of times. When we finally get pinned down Mark for the podcast, I think he took me there first to the Sip and Bite after going out. Oh,
we used to go there with all the strippers. That's where they go when they get off work. You go because you can go get a meal at 3:30 in the morning.
So Mark texted me. What are you doing tomorrow night? between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m.?
What am I doing?
Yeah. You want to go to Mark's warehouse?
Why? What's going on there? Is there a party or something?
Yeah. Free Christmas party at the warehouse. Bands will be playing. 3 DJs. 10 to 2. He's thinking about it. We could record just the two of us working our way through the crowd there.
Yeah.
I sent you the information.
Mace Street.
You know where it's at. It's right across from the iBar. Or right next to it.
Yeah, it's possible.
Yeah?
Possible. I don't know if I feel like getting into all that tomorrow night.
Oh, what?
All that?
Do tell. What's all that?
I just don't know if I feel like getting into all that tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. I gotta work Sunday. It's gonna be, man. It's gonna be a rough few days, man. My hand's all fucked up. I have to get a glove and go Michael Jackson style.
I'll put those Band-Aids on I gave you.
I can't put that on over the stitch, can I?
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally. Just clean it nice and well. Don't even put any ointment on it.
Yeah.
The best part about these Band-Aids is it keeps everything moist. So you know how you get scabs around the edges and then you move and it hurts? That doesn't happen.
Yeah.
In fact, I think you'll get less scarring using that than you would leaving it open to the air.
Yeah. That's what Jackson said. You're probably gonna have an awesome scar. I
Yeah.
was like, yeah, dude.
Yeah. When I saw it, I was like, that's going to heal well.
Yeah, that's what I said. That's why I didn't go to the fucking doctor. I was like, man, that's a clean break. That'll be fine.
But yeah, you should have taken a half an hour and bandaged it up real well.
I had to go take the food to the shelter. I organized a food drive from November 15th to December 15th.
Okay.
And I spearheaded this whole
I love
program.
you, man. You gotta prioritize yourself first sometimes.
Yeah.
You didn't mean to hurt yourself. You're just gonna have to be a little late and take care of your fingers.
That's fine. Look, I'm bandaged up. It's fine.
I know. 7 hours later.
Yeah. That's shit to do, man. That's shit to do.
Well, I don't drink anymore. So if we were to go, I'm not going to drink. So I could do all the driving.
Oh, the party?
Yeah.
Man, I don't know, man. You should go. You'll have fun.
I don't know. I'm kind of... I was thinking it might be fun if we both went, but I don't know if it'd be fun if I just go. Just feel awkward. 56-year-old hanging out there. Of course, Mark's older than me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is he older than me? He's almost the same age anyway.
I'm sure there'll be older people there, man.
You think so?
Yeah, he's texting you about it. He's probably texting a bunch of other fucking old guys about it. You know what I mean?
Probably.
You know, it's probably going to be all the old heads.
Well, there's going to be 3 DJs. It's going to be a pretty big party.
Yeah, sounds like it.
You don't want to go? You kind of want to go.
Kinda, but
Yeah.
yeah. Is Mark going to be DJing himself? Or is he bringing another DJ? He doesn't really do that anymore?
I don't think he's got the time. I think he kind of has to like bounce,
Yeah.
manage the place.
Right. I mean, I wonder if he DJs recreationally.
Personally, I don't understand. Well, I get what he's doing. He doesn't know exactly what he wants to do. He's been trying to sell it, but let's face it. If you really try to sell someplace, you'd sell it. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, there's a recording studio. The business has probably changed a lot in the last.
Well, my point is that when you finally decide to like exit from that, the building is worth a lot of money.
Right. He owns the building.
Yeah, we're talking about. I think he's trying to maximize the outcome of the sale, which is understandable, but at the same time, it's an expensive building. Literally could probably stop working once he sells it.
Yeah. He should fucking sell it then.
Well, if he's gonna sell it, you know.
Yeah.
And if he wants to build a business into it or something like that. That's why I've been trying to get him on the podcast, because I was like, I want to hear his story.
Well,
I mean, he's explained it to me directly,
yeah.
but him explaining it to the two of us, I'm imagining get more detail.
I'm curious as to 30 years ago, I'm a musician and I want to record an album. I pretty much have to go to a place like that. Now it's so easy for people to be able to.
Like that guy Ren that I've been sharing with you, where he's just recording all over the place. Goes to parking garages with a couple of iPhones.
Yeah.
I don't even think they're mic'd up.
Billie Eilish recorded that album that sold millions and millions of copies in her bedroom, on her bed, on her laptop. I work with a dude, Pete, who he built his own studio and learned how to use everything. And you can do that in your house now pretty easily.
Yeah.
What we're doing right now.
Yeah.
If we wanted to do this 30 years ago, we'd have to go someplace and do it.
Yeah.
And
because the equipment would just be too expensive.
But I'm sure there's still a need for that.
Yeah.
I think if you had a podcast studio set up, people would pay to come record their podcast in your studio.
There's an idea.
I think there's places where you can do that. It's an open studio. They have all the equipment. Hey, me and my buddy Heath, we want to sit down and have a podcast. You probably pay $150 an hour to do that.
And I know a sound engineer.
Yeah.
If I can get him to drop by.
Well,
Or just give us a date and we'll drop by.
$150 an hour. If you want a sound engineer, it's $250 an hour, you know? Like, that's the way they do. They upsell you. But I'm sure there's places that have that. In that shopping center where Yoga Factory is in Crofton, there's a selfie studio. It's a studio for you to go take selfies. I mean, like, and this is a legit business that people pay money to go do.
I got to be honest with you. It sounds like a place where they launder money.
Yeah, it could be.
You know?
I don't know. Selfies are huge. Selfie business.
I have a feeling laundering money in stores that don't seem to do a lot of business is a lot more common than we realize.
Yeah.
Like, you don't see any... what was it? These two girls, they put this video up of this... I think it was a wedding dress store or something like that. And they're like, I've lived here all my life and I never see anybody coming. And I'm about to get married and I was coming here and I can never get in. There's never anybody here.
Yeah.
And so they were literally saying this, like, what do they do here? Do they just launder money?
So that's just somebody just writing everything off, charging it, putting it, saying this is a business expense. Is that how people do it?
I don't know. I think they probably even have books where there's actual transactions going on. You know, they got pretend money coming in the door and real money going out the door.
That's what Mr. Lee did, the owner of the Ritz Cabaret in Fells Point, where they filmed scenes from The Wire. He went to jail for money laundering. Went to jail, lost the Ritz, everything. He sold it to the Persians, or the Persians took it over. But yeah, Mr. Lee was an awesome guy. He had a fucking shark tank in the strip club with baby sharks. He like put all this money into it, made it look all nice. It was great. Everybody loved it. And then he went to jail one day.
It's that reeks of pissing off the wrong politician.
Yeah, right?
Because this is Baltimore we're talking about.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, you can't tell me somebody didn't come up to him and go, look,
Yeah.
give me a little scratch.
Yeah.
Because, you know, there's always been, show me the guy, I'll tell you what the crime is.
Right. Good old Baltimore.
Maybe I'll go up and go to the iBar and get some wings earlier than that and then go over for an hour.
Yeah.
Would you be interested in going for an hour to record him before the party?
He's going to want to sit down and record before he throws a warehouse party.
This is Mark we're talking about. Never can tell what the guy's up for as far as scheduling things.
I got you.
But I hear what you're saying.
I mean, yeah,
The likelihood is very small.
very small. But, I mean, iBar wings sound great, but
You're just not you wanna just chill.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, iBar wings sound great. But I'm like, I'm right there like 5 times a week. You know what I mean? I can bring you
now I get it.
I can bring you some iBar wings.
I hadn't thought about it from that perspective.
Yeah.
I don't want to go to Baltimore one more time.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I can totally get that.
Yeah.
I was driving up to I was driving all the way up to what's the name of it? What's the exit for Bel Air? Did that for like 2 years.
It's like up past White Marsh and shit, right?
Something Wood.
Edgewood?
Edgewood.
Oh, that's the last exit before Delaware, one of them. That's like
Yeah.
exit 99 or something.
Yeah. I was driving there for 2 years. That was where I first had my first job. I was living in Canton and working there.
Really?
Yeah.
I did that drive a lot. I was working with a rapper, and he lived there.
As one does.
And we'd have to drive out there, pick him up, bring him back to Ellicott City, do our thing, and then drive him back.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a long drive.
Yeah.
Waffle House is excellent right there.
Is it still there?
I'm sure it is, man. Waffle Houses ain't going anywhere. Waffle Houses is good. But yeah, that is, there's areas of, where did you work there?
So the exit where you get off to the right and then you go over 95 to go to Bel Air.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of going over it there, there's a hotel that was right there. I lived in that for 3 months, and I worked right there in the commercial
Gotcha.
area, right there. And then I went down to Baltimore, and I ended up getting a hold of this real estate guy who drove me around, just telling me, yeah, don't go above this road. Don't go over here.
Yeah.
You don't belong in this neighborhood.
Yeah.
Looked at a few places, and then I went back a couple of times on my own because I was looking through on the internet, and I was looking through the paper and stuff like that at apartments, and everything that was listed, it had something, always had some stupid major downside. So then I went down there, it's like, okay. And I'm pretty good at finding novel ways to deal with something.
Mm-hmm.
I just started driving around and looking at signs that looked like that was the only thing that somebody had put up. You know, and I found the place that I ended up renting because the only thing that George had put up was this sign right outside of the building. And I called him, and I ended up getting this apartment that was 2 stories, had 2 different decks on it, right there, and it was $1,100 a month.
Yeah. How long ago was that?
It was a while ago.
Yeah.
I forget what year it was.
Yeah, there's some dicey areas.
2003, I think it was.
All right.
Maybe 6. It was a while ago. That's
Yeah.
when I met Mark when I was living there.
Yeah, that's over 20 years ago, man.
Yeah.
What did I say? What was the name of the town? I just lost it. The exit.
Edgewood?
Edgewood.
Yeah.
Yeah, the dude I knew lived down the end of this fucking road, and then you drive on this path in the forest. No trash pickup, no mail. He lived in this shack.
What do you do with his trash? Take it to the dump?
Throw it out in the front yard. There was a CMP telephone truck in the yard and years worth of garbage. It was fucking intense. And we went there one time and there was no more power. It was a miracle that they had power in the first place. I don't know how they did.
They were draining it off of some pole somewhere.
But yeah, the second time we went back, there was no power. There was no power.
They found it.
It was intense.
They found the glitch.
I'll show you pictures of it sometime. It was insane. We got him out of there, and we took him, and we ended up getting him a hotel room that he rented by the week. Because it was not, like, the doors didn't close, so there were, like, possums living in the house and shit.
I don't know how some people deal with what they deal with.
This poor guy, he's grew up in Hamden, probably a lot of lead in the air. And, like...
Well, yeah, there's a lot to be said for that. That's actually, like, people get clouded.
Yeah. And when you have a serious learning disability and you grow up in the 70s and 80s in a place like Hamden, like, nobody cared about that dude. They just moved him along through the system.
Nobody cares about men.
Yeah. And they moved him along, and he was always behind the eight ball, man. Like,
men have it hard that way. It's real easy to fall out of your crew.
yeah.
If you don't have a group of guys that...
Yep. So I was that dude's crew.
Like, I can remember living across from a guy who eventually, I don't know if he committed suicide or what, but he worked on all of his own stuff. Like, he was a kind of a recluse guy. I'm like, what's up with this guy? And he had something wrong with his car, and he lifted it up, and he didn't have any blocks, any jack stands,
Right.
You jack it up and you put it on a stand that can't fall.
Yeah.
Well, he put it on 2x4s.
On 2x4s.
Yeah, it crushed him.
Damn.
Because the 2x4, you touch the car wrong, or you're wrenching on something really hard.
Yeah, and he pulled a car.
And the 2x4...
What did he put, like 2x4 on cinder blocks and like raise it up or something?
I never bothered to ask
wouldn't-
exactly how it happened.
Yeah.
But from what I understood, one day he was just found under his car, crushed by his own car.
Damn. That would suck. Hopefully that'd be painless. Just like lights out.
I don't think it would be. I think it'd be like at least 10 minutes of excruciating pain.
Yeah, you think it'd be that long? I think it'd be...
Yeah, because I don't know that the car... Well, I guess if the car is heavy enough, it would be just instantaneous. If it fell on your fucking head, yeah.
I feel like the excruciating pain at some point, you just like... Your mind takes you somewhere else. Like...
Yeah, the adrenaline and whatnot.
Your body's not feeling like it was. Like,
yeah.
It's a certain amount of pain probably. You just... I don't know. I don't want to find out.
No, I don't want to die that way.
No. Nope. What do you think happens when you die? To bring us all the way full circle back to the beginning of our conversation.
I think that energy isn't created or destroyed. It's just transmuted into different things.
Yes.
So I think... I just can't reconcile with there just being, ooh, pop. We're here out of nothing. And then poof, we go back to nothing.
Yeah, definitely not.
That doesn't make any fucking sense to me. There's this comedian who talks about this. He's a Christian, and he talks, he's doing both sides of the conversation. He's talking to an atheist. And he goes, so you don't believe in God? And the guy goes, no, I'm an atheist. So you believe that when you die, you go into nothingness. Right. So you're created from nothingness. Right. So you're born from nothingness and you go back to nothingness. Right. And then he rewords it in such a way as to not really change it, but to basically full circle imply that, so you come from this, you're created out of this, and then you rejoin the thing you were created from. So you're created, and then you join your creator at the end of it. Basically, it's the same belief with just outsaying God.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't know if that was. I'll have to find it. And I know the comedian. I can't remember his name. He does this other one where he's like, "You think you're in America? Zoom out.
Oh
You're
yeah,
on a planet."
you like this guy because
Yeah.
you say that one a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You think you're in the United States? Zoom out. You're on this planet hurtling through space.
Yeah.
That makes no fucking sense.
I don't know. I never equate what I like.
He's got a he does a whole bunch of other comedy skits too where he pretends to be Batman.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's a pretty funny guy. What were you going to say?
I don't know. I lost it. I lost the thought.
Sorry about that.
That's all right. That's all right. I mean, but do you think there's anything to like reincarnation? Do you think your consciousness moves on? Do you think you're going to see your loved ones again? Like, do you think you're going to go to heaven and play a harp? I mean, what do you think happens when you die?
I'm not sure that we can comprehend it.
Yeah, I don't think we can either.
I think. Okay. You've seen the movies about Tron?
Tron, yeah.
Yeah. So basically, the premise is very similar to our premise here, where you're programmed this particular character. It's a little bit like the Matrix,
Yeah.
where they have. It's actually a lot almost identical to the Matrix,
Yeah.
right? Where you've got different characters playing different roles.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden, they take the energy that is behind this particular character, and he was the garbage man today, and they reprogram him, and he's the policeman tomorrow,
Right.
right? But it's the same computer running the same program. It's the same energy, but now taking another level where you've got this set of physics for this particular video game.
Mm-hmm.
And now you're on a different planet where everybody's bigger and like now let's weave in the whole what was the name of that movie that the guy who did the Titanic and Terminator?
Jimmy Cameron?
James Cameron, yeah. So he did Avatar.
Yeah.
Right. So now you've got that planet with the different physics that are involved in that planet, right? Because you've got different materials there. So you got little islands that float here and there. I have a feeling that we're kind of in a simulation.
Yeah.
We just don't know what the simulation is running on, what hardware it's running on.
And we can't really comprehend what hardware it's running
And we
on.
don't know what video game we're going to get thrown into next. Is it going to be, has it been running for millennia? Has it been running for a few seconds? I mean, have you ever woken up from a dream and thought, I just dreamt about an entire lifetime?
Yeah.
You
Maybe
know?
that's where you were.
Right? And there was this one Star Trek episode back in Next Generation where Picard his mind ends up getting taken over by this satellite that they come across, this spaceship they come across, and they bring it on board like one does, you know, and it beams something at his head and he falls over and he's knocked out for like a few minutes, but he lives an entire fucking lifetime
Right.
in this other culture. And then he wakes up with the idea of the probe was that he wakes up. They wanted the memories of that culture to go through time.
Mm-hmm.
And so they made him he lived like an entire lifetime in like 5 minutes in his head. So I don't know.
Yeah, sign me up for that. I would do that.
I don't know what's next, but
But a lot of people
I do believe in evil.
A lot of people are scared of that they don't know what's next.
Well, that's why we don't talk about death.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There, see that? Full circle.
Right?
Yeah.
But I don't know that there's... I mean, it's like being scared about birth. You didn't have any choice in the matter.
Put me back. Put me back.
We don't have any choice in the matter of dying.
Yeah, put me back.
I like what we're doing now, right? Because we're doing what we want to do.
Yeah.
Like if I were to take you and put you on let's say I were to take you down to Tulum, your life's going to be here now. Your interests would not change.
Right.
Your interests follow you around as if you're programmed. You have no control over the thoughts. You get up in the morning, you walk into the kitchen, you have a random thought that you've never had before. Where did it come from?
Yeah.
Are you the author of it?
Nothing would change if I was in Tulum.
You know what I mean? Like, so you can't change people's interests and things. So it's as if we're pre-programmed to be interested in certain things, or something comes. Like, I don't know. My entire life has been built around one career. Most people don't have that. That's been kind of like a thread of consistency throughout my life.
Yeah.
I don't know how I ended up getting interested in doing CAD.
Yeah, it just was there for you.
It's just, yeah, I don't know, man. We're doing what we're interested in. That's what we spend our time on. We go to yoga. We go out to eat with the guys. We do this, we do that. What do you think?
About what?
Do you believe in reincarnation?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. I
You
think.
think you come back as a dog if you do things a specific way, or you come back as a horse or another person, or...
I don't believe in, like, merit-based reincarnation, really. I think for...
You mean karma? Is that what you mean by merit-based?
No, I don't believe that, like, if you're a bad person, you come back as a slug, you know? Or if you're a good person, you come back as some really hot girl. Like...
It's like... Why... It's kind of funny. We put, like, disgust on an animal.
Yeah.
Right? And then we go, well, that's a bad animal. It's disgusting. That animal's never known anything different. It doesn't think of itself as disgusting.
Yeah. It'd be awesome. It'd be awesome to come back as a dog.
Dog or tapeworm?
Everybody pets you all the time, and they pretty much let you in any store nowadays. Just say I'm a service animal.
Did you see this thing about service animals? This guy brings his what type of dog is Marmaduke? He's a big dog.
Marmaduke?
You know who Marmaduke is? You don't know? What about Big Red? The book, kid's book.
I know it's a red dog, yeah.
He's gigantic.
Is he big?
Yeah.
Is it like a
Marmaduke is a big,
Mastiff or something?
No, Marmaduke is a what type of, not a Dalmatian. There's a Dalmatian mix with these dogs too. Do you remember the movie Patriot? Anyway, big dog. This guy gets it dubbed. This is my
service animal.
This is my service animal. And then he takes it on the plane, and the dog is literally like walking down the aisle, looking everybody in the face.
Probably balls hanging right at people's eye level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think he's doing it to just show, just just to take this thing to its absolute most absurd level.
A lot of people that do that.
That's how they want to live their life. I don't understand living in that way, but we need those people, just like we need somebody to pick up the garbage. We need somebody to deliver the pizza.
There's a guy that shops at Whole Foods with a parrot on his shoulder. And if anyone says something, he says, "This is my service animal."
Yeah.
Yeah, by law, you can't, there's two things you can do by law per the ADA. If I'm the store manager, I can say, "Excuse me, sir, is that a service animal?" You say yes. I cannot ask you to display identification. All I can ask you is what kind of service does he provide? And if you say, "Fuck you, I'm not telling you," there's still not a whole lot I can do. Anxiety is not covered by the ADA, but you don't want to start a whole big thing. So you just kind of let the person do it. If the dog's doing something dumb, trying to eat off the salad bar or something, then yeah, you can say something. Please don't put your dog in the cart.
I do not want your job.
But
your job is harder than my job.
Yeah, I mean, you never know what you're going to be dealing with. You never know.
No, you don't. There's a woman that I saw at Whole Foods 2 days ago. She was dressed for the weather. She's definitely homeless.
Yeah.
And she was dressed as if she was out of 28 days.
Yeah.
Covered in, you see those people covered in, they're coming up out of the ground and they're covered in all this clothing.
Mm-hmm.
She was layered up, man. She had her shopping basket and.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's warm in there. We get it real bad in the city.
I can imagine.
And that's why we sought out some resources that we can give people some resources where they can go and get a hot meal or get a little bit of help, but they don't always want that, you know?
No, I don't think that most of the people who are remaining homeless are mentally well.
Yeah, I'd spent a lot of time at
They're not dealing with life.
No.
In a what's the word I'm looking for? In a consistent way. That's not the word I was looking for. But.
They're kind of checked out, man. They're not gonna do.
They're dealing with life in a very unorthodox manner. They're definitely not making their life easy by any means.
Yeah, but I mean, we both know what it's like to get so deep into a hole on something. I mean, I'm assuming you know what it's like, but you get so deep in a hole, something you can't dig yourself out, or it's really hard to dig yourself out. I feel like I've been at that point a couple times in my life, and it's hard to help yourself sometimes.
Yeah.
Until you're really ready to help yourself. It's difficult to help yourself sometimes. And I've been at this shelter. It's not really like a overnight shelter. It's anybody can go between 11 a.m. and 1 p.m. and go get a hot meal. And we go there and we serve food 2 days a month. And it's some people like that, but it's not homeless people going in there either, man. It's just
I've never had to deal with anything like that. I've had a very yeah, it's been good. Life is.
Yeah. These people are people that have homes and but everything's so expensive for them and they don't make enough money. They get they can cover everything except they can't buy food to eat, so they got to go get free meals. It sucks, man. There's a lot of people that shit affects, man. It's crazy. There's a lot of people in bad spots.
I don't know if you feel this way, but I feel like that's at least for a percentage. I don't know how big a percentage, but I have a feeling like that's about to change.
Yeah?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because of what? Because of the aliens landing?
No. I think it's been really hard because a really good example is when I'm trying not to say this in a contrite way because it's easy to come across as like, oh, well, you got the answers for everything. But I don't think that that's there's a matrix running in the background. You know what I mean? Like the reality of our situation is much different than what a lot of people realize they're going through.
Yeah.
And one of those is not having the ability to accumulate any kind of personal property. And by that, I just mean like making the most out of $10.
Mm-hmm.
You know, being able to go earn another $10. And, yeah, sometimes you have shit happened, right? And all of a sudden you find yourself in a bad spot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
you get linked up with the wrong person and they put you in a bad spot. You know, something.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, there's people out there that get into it and it's like...
Or they're just born into a bad spot.
Born into a bad spot. Schooled in a bad spot. You know, like...
Yep.
Yeah, that's terrible. It's terrible.
But I think these are creating more transparency. You know? I think collectively we're getting smarter. I know we are.
Yeah.
You know?
Most of us.
Well, it doesn't take much to... yeah, that's very true. Some people just don't want to know.
Mm-mm. Some people do not want to know.
Do not want to know. I think... What do you think about evil?
I was really hoping he would make it when he jumped that fountain at Caesar's Palace. But I'm glad he was okay at the end.
Do you believe in evil?
I mean, yeah. I guess there's good and evil.
Well, that's why I was starting with evil, because good isn't so easy to pin down. But I do think that there are people, and I do believe evil exists.
I mean...
Like a volcano is just a thing, right?
Yeah.
It erupts and it wipes out an entire city. That's not evil.
Yeah, I mean, you mean like evil as like a noun or evil as like an adjective? Because I believe in evil as a word used to describe something that's fucked up or whatever. Like, oh, Jeffrey Dahmer, that dude was evil. He ate people.
No, I'm thinking along the lines of like
a force? Like
an alignment.
An alignment.
Yeah.
Like what do you mean by that?
Like, I've always believed that hypocrisy is a lot more important to call out than people realize. Like, he's a bit of a hypocrite. Well, the foundation of that is lying, right? Even if it's just themselves.
Yeah.
And then I read this book a long time ago. I think it was, I forget the author's name, but it was called This Present Darkness. And I already had some ideas about this, but I just kind of think that people get lost in their day-to-day and they compromise certain things about the way they live, and then they end up getting used by an alignment that's evil. You can call it a demon, you can call it the devil. Something that has, like, yin and yang, I definitely believe in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's a positive side to a magnet and a negative side to a magnet. Those are real things that physics proves out. Well, why wouldn't there be the same kind of thing with personalities? You got, so broaden that out. Like, societies are good until they're not.
Yeah.
So you get this alignment where everybody starts marching in this particular direction. Did they mean to do evil? Okay. What do you mean by mean to? Did they do something evil? Yes. How did they get there? It's not like they were born and aimed to do that. There's a lot of shit that happens in the meantime.
Yeah.
And so I feel like there's this energy that you get used by depending on what you're aligning with. I've changed my life a lot in the last 5 years. And I think it's easy. You know what the phrase... have you ever heard the nihilistic?
Mm-hmm.
What's your understanding of it?
Zero.
Really?
I mean, I've heard the term before. I used to know, but I don't know anymore for sure.
It's a little bit like everything's bad, everything's headed to be bad.
Okay.
That kind of thing.
So it's a little pessimistic kind of.
No. Pessimism is caution. Nihilism is school shooters. That's the heavy end of nihilism. You got the guys that complain all the time. They're a bit nihilistic. You know what I mean? Then there's guys take it to the next level. And then there's guys that take it to the next level. And then there's guys that take it all the way.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
So what about but how does it, so if there's no good energy or the bad energy, there's just energy. And then what, does evil come in there and intercept the energy and turn it in a bad direction?
No, I don't think they have the power over anybody. I think people decide to align themselves with. I think that's what free will is decide, like, you get thoughts coming in your head and you I'm going to go with that.
Yeah.
Right? Then as you go down that path, it gets harder and harder to change your direction.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean that there's ever a spot where you can't change your direction, but people tend to go with the flow.
I certainly do.
You know what I mean? And so I believe that a lot of people that decide that they're going to lie for a living, like politicians, they end up probably aligning themselves with something that they think is just part of life, and it isn't. Just because a whole bunch of other people are doing the same thing doesn't mean it isn't evil.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's evil together.
Well, when you get them all in alignment, and then it becomes very apparent that it's not a good thing.
I mean, that's the way
When you got a
everything's...
guy who comes into the grocery store and you can just I don't want to be anywhere near that guy.
Yeah.
Or you're down in the Inner Harbor and you're like, okay, I'm going to walk over here.
Yeah.
Right? It's not necessarily an evil guy, but you know that energy that's going on over there.
Yeah, and I've had a couple instances where I probably should have listened to that, and I didn't. And
Now,
you
elaborate on that.
You got to listen to it. You got to listen to it.
Do you got to listen to it, or are you the type that you want to help out if you can?
I mean, if I can, yeah.
Yeah. Maybe lean into it a little bit better.
In some cases, depending on how safe I feel. If I feel unsafe, I retreat.
I have a feeling you're a little bit more relaxed in situations like that than most people are.
Yeah, I've been told that. I've been told that.
And I'm not saying that I don't think at all. Just to be clear, I don't think that's a bad thing.
Oh, neither do I.
You know?
I think that's one of my strong
Yeah.
points is...
And it also, like anything taken to an extreme can be your kryptonite.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Too much chill. You got too much chill.
Well, another way to say that would be is not enough self-preservation.
Yeah.
And then there's too much self-preservation. As if like you're going to get away from all risk. Life is going to be perfectly safe. And even if it was, would you enjoy that?
Yeah. Don't be too quick to lock yourself in the panic room, man.
Like, eventually you're going to want out of that fucking panic room. But it's safe there. Yeah, but I'm locked in a room.
Like Christopher Walken and that movie with Brendan Fraser. Where you ever seen that one?
I think I have.
They live in the bomb shelter.
Yes.
And then they run out of supplies and they send him up to the world, but the parents won't leave.
Yeah, they won't leave.
Yeah, and they're trapped down there.
Yeah.
And he meets Alicia Silverstone.
That's a good movie.
That was a great movie. Blast from the Past.
Is that what it's called?
That is what it's called.
That's a great movie.
That is a great movie.
He's a good actor.
Yeah, it's good.
All of those people are good actors. That was who was Christopher Walken's? It was
Christopher Walken?
Sissy
Spacek.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a good movie.
Yeah.
Mama's got to have a martini.
Yeah. It's a pretty cool setup they have.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But then, they're down there for 30 years or something. They run out of food and supplies.
Did you see Christopher Walken in, what was it, Click? He's in Bed Bath & Beyond. He's got the remote control. He sells him the remote control.
Adam Sandler?
Yeah.
I saw that when it came out. I could watch that again. I love that idea.
Have you seen any of the episodes of Severance?
Yeah, I like that show.
Yeah.
They're coming out with a new season.
Christopher Walken again.
Yeah, I
don't know where that's going. That show.
Yeah, that's a wild show.
I think that's why I like it, because I can't, where the hell is this going?
I'm a sucker for any kind of time manipulation stuff. Stopping time, speeding up time.
Time Traveler's Wife?
Never saw that one.
It's a movie.
I'm talking.
And there's a series.
I like time travel, but I also like the freezing of time.
Mm-hmm. Did you see the Twilight Zone where the guy is robbing a bank?
Yeah.
And he stops time?
Yep. And then
he breaks the watch?
And he breaks the watch and he's stuck. When they did a Twilight Zone television show in the 80s too. And there's one.
It's named different though, isn't it?
I think it was like a reboot. There was a Twilight Zone in the 80s.
Yeah, there's a Twilight Zone, but there's another series that was basically Twilight Zone, but it's called something else.
Yeah. But that guy finds a stopwatch, stops time and everything.
Isn't William Shatner in that?
I don't know. One day comes on TV that Russia launched a nuclear missile. And it's going to land right in his town.
Mm-hmm.
And like everybody's freaking out. T-minus 10, 9, 8. And with like 2 seconds left, he has no choice, but he stops the watch. And then like he goes out to the town square and like the missile's like 2 feet from the ground. But everybody and everything is frozen.
Mm-hmm.
So his wife and kids, you know, like...
Yeah, it's like...
He's in hell. He never gets to see him again, but...
Well, you can see him every day, but they never change.
But they never change.
Yeah.
And if he ever hits the stopwatch again, everything blows up. Twilight Zone's wild. Burgess Meredith, the one where he's in the apocalypse and he wants to read all the books.
Yeah. That's the one?
No, that's a different one.
Oh, he breaks his glasses.
And he breaks his glasses at the end. He finally gets a pair of glasses so he can read all the books, and he's happy. He's like, I get to spend eternity reading books. And then he drops the glasses and breaks them. Like, Rod Serling, man. It's a wild dude. Visionary. Rod Serling. I mean...
You know what amazes me about... You and I we're so different in some ways.
Mm-hmm.
And we have all these things that we... This is magnet, you know, the energy kind of thing that I was talking about.
Yeah.
You get alignments and it's just funny. It's like there's something going on underneath. There's this like current under the top. Like I saw this this quick post the other day. I think it was a reel on Facebook or something like that, where she's looking at this river, and the top of the river is solid, smooth ice. And you're looking at the river, and she goes, "It looks like there's nothing moving. Like it's the entire river is just frozen."
Yeah.
And then she turns the corner, and it's raging over here.
Yeah.
And it's all this water that's coming up underneath the ice. I think that's a little bit. That's kind of like an analogy for what's going on. We can only see. Like even the planet, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know if you've ever listened to Elon talk about the Boring Company, but he's like, I could be under your house by like, I don't know, I think it's as little as 50 feet, digging a tunnel with my boring machines, and you would never know I'm there.
Yeah.
You don't even have to go that deep, and you never know I'm there.
Mm. Maybe it's I watched videos of these dudes the other day, and there's a lot of videos if you look it up, shining a red laser.
Yeah.
And if you put your camera on the red laser, it looks like there's code in the laser.
We're going to have to try that.
Yeah. Do you have a laser?
I don't think they're that... I think the laser that they're using is not that expensive.
Yeah, they're not. You can buy one of those for like $30, but
Yeah.
they're all... Everybody that looks at it is like, holy shit, I
The
see
Matrix.
it. And you can kind of make it out on the screen, but like, that's the kind of thing, like...
Yeah.
I'm going to try that myself and see. But what the hell does that kind of stuff mean? Who the hell knows? Who the hell knows? The Matrix. I'm going to stop my computer from timing out. The fucking timer. Man, it's almost 11 o'clock.
Is it?
Yeah, 2 hours and 31 minutes.
Dude.
Is how long we've been recording.
The last time... whoa, no. We started with the audio alone earlier.
Yeah. So we're well
like
over.
7 o'clock.
Probably 4 hours.
I'm excited to see how you. I got to be honest, I'll probably never watch it all. I'm just not excited about watching myself on a podcast, but I'm excited to see how you pull this together.
I'm thinking like I'm gonna have too long the footage, right? I'm filming vertical. So I don't know. I'm sure I can play around with something. But I feel like the camera angles are better than they usually are. So I think it'll look good.
I gotta get this. I got a few days to think. I'm gonna try to get this place
Popping.
more set up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like I feel much more engaged sitting like this than sitting back. And like I got this computer right here, like I feel pretty good.
So I need to get. Though that's not a bad chair, but it's not an awesome chair. I feel like I need to get like 4 chairs, or at least 2 chairs that are.
Yeah, I like the height of this table like this though.
You do?
Yeah. I don't think I'd want my computer like up here. I like having it right down here.
You want your head?
Because I can like talk to you.
Do you want to get rid of the stuff in the middle?
I mean, yeah, ideally.
Or do you want to have it a little bit more like Rogan style?
Like, what do you mean by that?
Well, he's got the desks between the two of them.
Yeah,